Hello everybody, I am Hacklebeast, and this is Gambit Cup Finals Day number 2. Winners League format. For the first matchup today, we are going to have GT's Michael, and he will be our off-white colored Zerg up in the top left. There we go. And in the bottom right corner, we have Sass Draw, who I can't remember how he capitalizes his name. Capital D. It changes. Sometimes the R is capitalized, sometimes the W is capitalized. But anyway, Blue Protoss. PVZ on Gladiator. Alright. So, the last time that these two... Oh. I just got the last replay. Apparently this took a while to finish, so the games are still going on, but the last replay couldn't quite fit into the folder. But I got it now, so I have all the replays. Anyway, the other time that these two teams played in Gambit Cup, Michael all-killed. He started first, 4-0'd, complete sweep of Sass. Everybody was surprised. It wasn't even an augmented Sass lineup. Sass had all their best players. It was Draw, it was Zaraki, it was Ace, it was Zeke. And Michael just crushed him. So here he is starting out again, and once again he's gonna play against Draw. Now, this could be this deciding match if a GT closes it out. Otherwise, Sass can force a game number 3. Which will revert back to normal status. Alright. Should be good. The last time we saw Draw on this map, he played this map in last week's... Was he the one who played in... the last time we saw him play, he played versus South Park on this map, and he just got busted quite hilariously because he set up like a really good defense, but South Park just busted him anyway. I can't remember if it was in fact last week for Gambit Cup or for something else, but it was the last Draw game I casted. So Sixling's coming out. Hopefully he won't fall into the same trap. This is a 2-cannon wall, but the 2 cannons are pretty exposed. I don't think that Michael is going to go for it, though, or even wait for more lings and go for it later. This is going to be pretty solid, especially if the gateway gets down in time, which it apparently... No, Michael's going to back off. And there goes the gateway. Michael taking the very fast third and not taking it over here, which is where you would expect the Zerg player to take their third base in most situations. But by taking the third base, that's going to indicate Michael's going to be a little bit more aggressive. That a fourth base is pretty far off in his game plans, and that he really doesn't need one. Also, if you place it closer to here, ideally with a good ground army, you don't have to invest as much in a SimCity. You don't have to put up a huge SimCity here. And if you don't put a huge SimCity up at either, and just have the big ground army defend both locations, and that saves you a little bit of money. But as I said, it does not get you that fourth base. Does Michael need a fourth base this game? Don't know. Just gonna have to wait and find out. But other than the different location for the hatchery, Michael's doing everything else normal. Getting up his lair now. We'll probably throw down a spire behind this. And Draw similarly. And getting his cyber core. We'll get a Stargate after that. All that good stuff. Draw's been actually experimenting with a kind of interesting build, which doesn't involve getting a Stargate, but instead gets the Citadel first. He gets a really fast speed and gets a lot of speed vultures out, and then transitions into a late double Stargate. So no Corsair presence out, but you have a lot of speed zealots out, and then you can come up with Corsairs at the end. I haven't seen it really working out for him. It has limited success, but I think he's better off just playing a standard, in my opinion, especially against Michael, because Michael is going to do. Michael does have a good chance of doing something kind of odd. So, unless you feel that confident that you're willing to counter his oddness with your own oddness, I would just play it standard. Play everything absolutely safe. Anyway, the biggest drawback of that is that you obviously don't get the early Corsair out, which allows you to not get some Overlord kills and does not get you scouting. And against Michael, scouting is very important. Spire's on the way, and a fourth hatchery has started. Is the fifth hatchery going to go down as well? He doesn't necessarily have to get that fifth hatchery. This is semi-reminiscent of something that Bakuryu does, just with the 4 hatcheries going for a closer base. But normally he goes for the Hydralisk Den before he goes for the Spire. So a little bit, not quite that. And we would expect him to get that 5th hatchery if he had expanded somewhere else. But, okay, he will be getting that 5th hatchery, just doing it a closer expansion. If you're going to get the SimCity anyway, it's a little bit of a drawback to go for a closer third. If that's just what your game plan is anyway, you might as well gear up to take a 4th base, because if you're not going to be super aggressive, odds are the game will go to a point where you would like to have a 4th base. So it wasn't a given that he'd be doing standard stuff and getting a 5th hatchery. But indeed he will. Sending up some nice SimCities. This looks particularly fearsome. With the downward choke, you're going to have sunken colonies here that are essentially going to have a high ground advantage over goons if they try to attack. It's going to be quite brutal. And, Michael's going to allow all of his links to die? That's a little unfortunate, a little sloppy from him. He definitely had time to pull them back. Oh, only 5 links. Templar Archives are on the way. It's a relatively fast Templar Archives, but not horribly fast. We'll have to see what he wants to do with it. And Michael... Ooh, Michael's getting plus 1 air carapace. Now, that's normally a strong indication that you want to go Mutalisks, but it's not a given. If you're really afraid of your opponent's air force, you can get the plus 1 carapace even without knowing that that's what they're going to do, just because it helps out with your Scourge, and it can really throw off the Protoss if they're not expecting plus 1 carapace. It throws off their calculations for the ideal number of Corsairs, and if they're not paying attention, you can get a lot of damage done. And Draw's getting plus 1 air weapons, as he does in most games. And it also helps defend your Overlords. Once they have plus 1 in speed, it can actually become kind of difficult for Corsairs to get kills. But you would probably be going Mutalisks. You would have to think. He's building a bunch of Scourge, hasn't quite gone to Mutalisk yet, but at the same time we don't see any Hydralisks and no Hydralisk upgrades. So Michael's just only building Scourge Ling at this point. He has a good number of Scourge and a few Lings. I haven't quite seen what he's planning on doing yet. He's saving up a good amount of money. I assume he's going to go for Mutalisks, because that's the kind of bank you would have for Mutalisks. Wow, that's a lot of Scourge. And, oh, all that money went away. He must have just started 9 Mutalisks, or however many he could afford at the moment. And yes, you will be going straight to Mutalisks, not going to be doing Coal Style, where Coal Style is going Hydralisks and then a Mutalisk follow-up, but just straight into Mutalisk after a whole patch of Scourge. Wait. God damn it. Okay. Sorry about that. I have to take care of the replay. There we go. Alright. Well, Mutalisks have finished for Michael and are heading down towards Draw's base. Draw already has a couple cannons up, has a good number of plus 1 Corsairs, so it's going to be pretty difficult for Michael to find a hole, and that's not even counting the fact that there are a good number of High Templar here as well. Storm's done, and could morph those into Archons as well, but here comes a whole mess of Scourge, and the Scourge are going to land a whole... Actually, not landing that many hits! Michael didn't clone his Scourge correctly, and they only killed a few Corsairs. If he had split those up, he probably could have taken out the entire force of Draws, but making a pretty big error there. It's going to let Draw still have a huge number of Corsairs and force Michael's Mutalisks back. Oh, wow. He must have not expected the Corsairs to be there. He was just moving the Scourge here, and then... No, it looked like he really right-clicked them all. I don't know how he made that mistake, but that's going to be quite costly. If he had landed all those hits, which he definitely could have, those Mutalisks would be so much more effective right now. But here comes the follow-up of Hydralisks. And that expansion's certainly going to be shut down. Draw should just cancel both of those things immediately. He hasn't quite seen the full number of Hydralisks yet, so he might not know exactly how many there are, but there are a good number and more coming. Wow, he's gonna let the pylon finish. Okay, he should be seeing this huge number of Hydralisks here, and oh, mistake! Oh, huge mistake from Michael. He's going to lose all of his, Mutalisks and take a huge storm, losing a bunch of the Hydralisks, losing more Hydralisks, and Draw's not going to have to cancel that just because of these huge micro mistakes from Michael. Oh, Michael's playing so poorly right now. DT out and no Overlords in sight. So this pack of Hydralisks, they're gonna be able to pick off some of these Corsairs, and no, they're not gonna quite finish off the Overlord. And Overlord speed does finish. The Dark Templar isn't that big of a threat, but man, Michael taking a huge number of losses here, and Draw's gonna be able to get up a third. I'm pretty sure this is going to be safe. This is going to be a very hard expansion to hold, but with this huge ground force from Draw already out in the field, wow, nearly double the supply, 78 to 130. So getting pretty close to double the supply. That's going to allow this to kind of be a safe expansion, despite how early in the game it is and the relatively small army. Normally you need a huge late game army to attack that, to defend that from all angles, but Michael's going to be defending here. He has a good number of Hydralisks, but these +1 speed lots are just cutting through them. +1 on the Hydralisks as well, but the +1 for the speed lots helps out a good deal more. There is not a storm, so these Hydralisks do have a chance here with proper micro and more being rallied in, but they're just taking so much damage. Draw with a huge number of Zealots here. I'm surprised he doesn't have more Hydralisks, though. This is a very gas-light army. I mean, there's a good number of gas in the Corsairs, but not that much. I wonder what he's spending his gas on right now. Actually, he isn't spending his gas. He has a 700 reserve. But, wow. Draw's got a safe expansion. Draw's got a safe expansion, and Michael is going to be caught on 3 bases. He's going to have a really difficult time taking a 4th base now. Because of the base that he chose here, it means that he doesn't naturally defend a base, and he's going to have a good-sized army before he can try to take another one. It's going to take way too long to set up a SimCity. Heavily supply blocked by 9. Ugh. This is not looking good at all from Michael. Just huge micro mistakes in the beginning of the game. First with the Scourge, then with the Mutalisks. And a smaller micro mistake in losing like 6 Hydralisks to 1 Storm. Ouch. Ouch. Well, Lurker upgrade finally done. Gonna be morphing in, looks like 6 initially. Still does have a good number of Hydralisks, and without Storm in Draw's army, he does have Storm, it's just he doesn't have many High Templar. Might be able to do something, but here comes Draw going in for some harass. Draw loves drop harass, as most talented Protoss players do, and ooh, whiffs on the Storm, does not manage to hit any of them. Or he hits them, but doesn't actually kill any of them. And gonna pick the High Templar up and leave, and these Hydralisks actually need to come back to try to save the Spire. The Spire's going down, it's under half health as the Hydralisks are trying to funnel in, but they're not attacking the Zealots. It's at 150, under 100, and it looks like the Spire's gonna go down because these Hydralisks just went in the wrong direction. And they did not... Wow. Another pretty substantial mistake. And here comes the High Templar. Oh, only 50 energy. That could have been a really nice Storm hitting both Hydralisks and drones. But Michael pulls anyway. And, oh, they didn't finish it off. Really? Really? You're not going to finish off the High Templar? As it has 65 energy now? Wow, Michael with another... Okay, good. He is going to catch it before it has enough energy for Storm. Catching it at 172 energy. But still, this is a pretty big mistake allowing your Spire to go down that was completely preventable if you had just got the Hydralisks in there faster. He has managed to take a 4th base here. Gonna be a little bit difficult to break through that lurker field. He does have observers out. We saw them earlier. Yeah, there's the observatory. But I don't quite see any with the arm. Ah, there's one. Okay. But so relatively low number of observers, gonna make fighting the lurkers a little bit difficult, at least. Ugh. Draw still with a 60 supply lead over Michael, and on even bases as Draw takes his 4th. 15 minutes into the game, Protoss already on 4 bases. Something has gone horribly wrong for the Zerg. And very nice storms going down, going to do a lot of damage to these Hydralisks. And here comes just this huge core of High Templar goons. Now we're going to start adding on the huge number of storms, and this was what Michael just could not handle. All of his Hydralisks are going to melt, not taking out too much of the Protoss army at all. Oh, and Michael down to just 70 supply, going to lose even more Overlords. If he loses both of these, he might be supply blocked. Yeah, he's going to be supply... No, he's not going to quite be supply blocked. Almost. But under half the supply. He does not have an army big enough to try to defend this base, and Draw is going to very easily win this game. It's just a matter of time before he gets his army up there and takes out this expansion. Michael really doesn't have a hope on even bases, but once he's behind bases to the Protoss, it's really just game over. Yeah, he's even going to have a high ground advantage in this battle. Just a handful of Hydralisks to try to defend. Well, a little bit more than a handful, admittedly, but going to go down so quickly to Storm. Michael not Storm dodging. GG, and SAS Draw is going to take game 1, taking out the player who all killed their team last time. Things are looking pretty good for SAS. Just after 1 game. Alright. So, game number 2 of SAS versus GT. This is Winners League format for day number 2 of the Twitch TV Gambit Cup Finals. So, GT gets a lot of talented players. No idea who they're going to send next. Could be South Park, could be True Touch, could be Semi, could be Jumper. And it's going to be Sneak. Wait, what? Shit. No, that didn't pause it. Fuck. Now I have to go check to see why Draw isn't still playing, or if game sent them to me in the wrong order. Okay, no, this is the right map. It's supposed to be on Circuit Breaker. It's on Circuit Breaker. This is a Winners League? I thought it was Winners League. Why was I under the impression that it was Winners League? Really? It's not Winners League? Apparently it's not Winners League. Huh. Oh, I feel silly now. Awesome. Alright. I don't actually know if he was the orange one. Okay. So he is orange. And SAS Lockdog is the purple Protoss. Alright then. Now, I do not have to give Game an apology because he sent me RAR files. So, preemptively blaming it on him kind of cancels that out. I think we're even on the net. Anyway, so, Schnitzel versus Lockdog. Alright. I like Lockdog's PvP. I think it's one of his better matchups personally. Don't really have I don't have stats to back that up. But I think that he plays it really well. Has a good general grasp on when to attack and can be really aggressive with specifically going for early speed lots. I like that style from him. Snitzel's not quite as good at PvP, but he's just such a talented player that it's kind of hard to say PvP is a weakness, quote-unquote, for him. I mean, relative to his PvZ, maybe, but it's still top-notch. Anyway, looks like Snitzel's once again gonna be going for the 12 next. This is a build that Snitzel does like to try out a lot, and it works out pretty well for him in a lot of situations. We'll have to see how Lockdog reacts to it. I'd have to assume Lockdog has plenty of experience against it, and he did scout out Snitzel first, so whatever he wants to do against it is going to be on the table. He's getting a Cyber Core now. So he'll get out normally timed Dragoons. It's sending out one Zealot, but it won't reach there before this Zealot gets out, or if it does, it will only be able to just start whittling away on the shields. No real damage. Alright. So, with the 12 next, the idea is you're going to get your expansion so much faster that you can sacrifice some things in the early game. Sacrifice economy and building cannon, sacrifice the later Dragoon tech, and as long as your opponent doesn't get a similarly timed Nexus, and he didn't because he didn't go for a 12 next, and as long as he doesn't do a lot of damage with the initial attack, you'll come out net ahead. There are certain ways you can go and combat this. A lot of times they won't quite build up enough defenses, get a little bit too greedy, and you can bust them. The more interesting option, in my opinion, is to not only take a fast second base, which you would just normally do anyway, but then go one step further, take a really fast third. Because Snitzel will not have a large army size, it can actually be really difficult to punish that, and he won't be able to take a fast third of his own. So that's my preferred counter to the 12 next, and I think it works out really well when players do that. In the last Snitzel game we casted, was it Snitzel versus Lockdog? I think it might have been Snitzel versus Lockdog. That's exactly what, well, whoever Snitzel's opponent was, that's what Snitzel's opponent did to him. He took a reasonably timed natural expansion, then took a really fast third, and Snitzel just started to fall behind in economy despite having such a big opening lead. Anyway, Cyber Core now just starting for Snitzel. He'll be able to make a couple of Dragoons, but really he needs to use all of his initial minerals now on getting up cannons, just because he fears the big number of Dragoons coming out from Lockdog. Also, if Lockdog had gone for a Dark Templar follow-up, he really needs those cannons down to defend. 2 and not a third? Huh, not a third. Okay. A lot of times you see him throw down 3 cannons, but I guess he's going to play it a little bit riskier with only 2. And here come 3 Dragoons. 3 Dragoons do beat 2 cannons, but if Snitzel micros these Zealots correctly, they will tank enough damage that he won't have to worry about Lockdog taking down his initial defenses. Now we get a little chance to see Lockdog's micro against Zealots. Theoretically, he should not take damage, but micro can be a little bit time-consuming as you have other things to focus on. Not to mention, Dragoons can be quite stupid, so that certainly does make it harder. The third cannon is going down. Okay, so it was a little bit delayed. He probably delayed it. No, I was gonna say he delayed it just to get out a couple extra goons, but no, it was to get out a couple extra upgrades, getting +1 and goon range. Starting goon range without a single goon out. Interesting. It's a pretty slow upgrade. Should have a good number of them by the time that that upgrade finishes. And Lockdog getting his Robo Facility. Now, DTs are also a common follow-up, not just a counter to the 12 necks. So I'll bet that that's for observers rather than fast reavers. Lockdog has been a player known to go for fast reavers, but in this situation he won't need the observers, but just given that he doesn't have the scout, it'd be a nice touch. Anyway, he has some opportunity to do some nice micro here. He can step in and snipe at a couple cannons. He has enough Dragoons to just two-shot him, and he won't take too much damage in response until these next cannons come up, if he wants to continue to pursue that. Meanwhile, his expansion is down, and yep, there's the observatory. Not going to be a Robo Bay. Alright. Well, throwing down the inward cannon. The cannon's going to be there. I want to say only because... I'm trying to think of any other situation that cannon could be useful. But it's there only because of DT drops. All of his detection is frontward detection. So just popping a shuttle over would make it... would result in a very quick loss for Snitzel. He doesn't need that cannon down there. As Lockdog could theoretically have DTs and dropout, although he does not, instead going for Reavers. Robo-Bay's done, and he did not make an early shuttle. So it's going to be a little while before he can actually do it, and ooh, Snitzel's going to expand? Snitzel's going to expand, okay. I don't know if he can get away with this. This is going to be a pretty hard expansion to hold. You have to defend a downward ramp. Not to mention that your opponent has more army than you and going to continue to have more army than you since you just invested so much money into a new base. I think that can be pretty risky. I mean, you do have DTs to help defend, but Lockdog has an observer out and you're going to run right into it. Oh, one DT down immediately. The other one does sidestep out of the way and going to head into Lockdog's natural, but Lockdog playing it absolutely safe. He has certainly seen this follow-up before, has an observer overhead, and that DT will... Oh, microing the goon back to save it, but by microing it back, I think he might have been able to get 2 extra shots off and kill that DT. He certainly wouldn't be able to get 1 shot off. Not quite sure if he would have been able to get that second one. Anyway, Stitzel does have the advantage of getting that fast forge. He should have better upgrades. +1 with 1-1 on the way, actually getting pretty close. Compared to the forge, it's just halfway done for Lockdog. So Snitzel will have much better upgrades, but he does not have Reavers, and Reavers are going to be very effective at this stage of the game. In the long term, Snitzel's High Templars could turn out to be better. Snitzel's theoretical High Templars, I mean, he doesn't actually have any High Templars yet. But, he really just does not have tech. It's going to be a nicely upgraded army, but it's going to be smaller and without Reavers compared to Lockdog. Well, Lockdog taking his third as well. Lockdog hasn't been doing a whole lot to scout out. I'm not even sure if he realizes there's a base down here. I really hope he realizes there's a base here that he could try to attack. But both players are going to be on even bases and just quite happy with whittling away on their half of the map. It's looking very symmetric at this point. Both players taking up the exact same positions, taking expansions in the same location. Quite cute. Oh, if you didn't know there was an expansion there before, he certainly knows it's there now. Going to lose the observer. Alright. So, 114 supply compared to, well, 107. Just a macro round finishing. So, pretty close supplies. Snitzel won't be increasing his supply lead as he's no longer ahead on bases. Lockdog populating this one now. Both players a little bit of a standstill here. It's going to be on the more difficult side to try to take another base, just because it's going to be pretty far away. If you can try to take this one, but it's just going to be difficult. At the same time, you're not going to have a good opportunity to attack. These high grounds and these bridges are just going to make attacking an opponent really hard. Lockdog has time to get this army to wherever he needs it to be, not to mention there are Reavers. And Lockdog, surprisingly, no shuttles still. Okay, there we go. Finally getting a shuttle. Good. Obviously the shuttle, very beneficial in Reaver Micro. Is he going to lose the observer? Yes. Since again, he's throwing away an observer there. And oh, we got probe duels. And no. Since the probe cheated in the duel, called backup. That was very nice. But Lockdog knows that there's a 4th base going down, and now Lockdog really needs to... I think Lockdog really needs to try to punish that. It's going to be a little bit difficult as Snitzel has gotten up to a similar supply. Actually now behind once again, and ooh, Mistake from Lockdog, engaging with a few random zealots. But he really needs to prevent this from going down. It's the net openings have pretty much come to a wash at this point. But if he allows that expansion to go down, it's going to be a bit more difficult for him to come back. Snitzel's going to be able to use that and make a much bigger army if Lockdog wants to try to expand instead. And ooh, DT, that one random DT that tried to attack the natural and backed off, actually going to harass the zealots, send them back home. Apparently threatening a storm drop, but didn't quite do it. Alright. Yeah, those High Templar do not have any kills on them. Well, Snitzel's actually going to be the one to put on pressure first, surprisingly. And this is not going to be a terribly good engagement for Snitzel here, as his army is being funneled in. A great cave for Lockdog, not to mention high ground. Does get a nice storm off, though, on some of the retreating zealots. Not going to do a whole mess of damage. And is that Templar going to be sniped? Nope, not quite. Templar does manage to get away. Lockdog's pulling back with his forces and actually giving up the high ground. It's not so much a retreat as it is a removing of his army and just bringing it over to attack Snitzel's third. And this looks like it's going to be rather vulnerable. Snitzel rushing his units back. Those Reavers are a bit far forward, though. He needs to be careful to not get them sniped. But they're just Templars. There's not anything here to actually snipe the Reavers. No Dragoon numbers. Ah, here come the Dragoons now. A good storm goes down, though, and softens them up. So the few goons that were there, able to take them out. And oh, very nice storm. Gonna take out one of the Templar and damage a lot of other units. So Snitzel able to rush back and make a pretty good engagement out of that. Both players just kind of throwing zealots at each other. Very, very large number of speed lots for both players here. And now Snitzel's going in for another attack, but once again, he's not going to find the best angle of engagement here. He's going to have to work a little bit better to find a better angle. And Lockdog's going to once again back off the high ground and give it up to Snitzel. Snitzel wants it. But Snitzel does not have a big enough army to really capitalize on that. Dead even supplies at 169 apiece, but Snitzel has this expansion up, and Lockdog's expansion is significantly behind, just starting now. So Lockdog is the one who needs to make something happen here before Snitzel's economy gets out of hand. Nice storm going down, hitting a lot of units once again. Both players have had really nice storms this game. And, these Templar are out of the open, but he's going to storm all the Templar. Gets a couple of them, but the Templar get down good storms of their own, and Snitzel's going to back off once again. With these huge number of speed lots, you can do so much damage with Storm, but at the same time, you can do so much damage to yourself. Storm placement so critical to not completely destroy yourself. And you see on these Templar, they only have 2 kills apiece, but that's a very deceptive 2 kills because you're softening up so many units that's just kills down the road. Anyway, Snitzel will now take fire on this base. And not storming the probes. Okay, there we go. Now storming the probes. Doing some good damage, but not taking out as many as he should. Should have / could have. The Nexus will be going down. Most of the probes do manage to get out as this army from Lockdog is somewhat being cleaned up, but he still has a very large number of speed lots left over, so this won't quite be enough as the Archon's coming in. That's going to help out a lot. Another big factor in these engagements, as I said, was the upgrades. Lockdog now finally able to... actually, no, he hasn't caught up. Excuse me. Lockdog's still behind in that it's a 2-2 for Snitzel compared to just 2-0. No armor upgrades. That's certainly helping out, especially in a speed lot battle, because that armor upgrade is applied twice. That's -4 damage from every one of Lockdog's attacks. And still a good number of speed lots left over that Snitzel's not cleaning up. I don't know if you realize that they weren't there. And is that unpowered? Yeah, that is unpowered. I was wondering how, which one of those pylons is trying to power that, but no, it was a different pylon. Pylon that had been destroyed. But Snitzel is going to take this base, the 4th base that splits the 2 players, which is it's going to be very difficult to hold off. But if he can take it, if he just has a bigger army than Lockdog consistently. Oh, snipe those Templar! No, Lockdog not paying attention. That was a great opportunity to get a couple of Templar snipes there. And now turning back around, and he still might be able to snipe a couple of them. The Archon's going to do some good damage. Storm's going down, also doing good damage, and no. Well, it's going to be close either way. There's so many Templar here. This is a bit of a mistake from Snitzel, having these Templar out, even if he wins this... he won't win this battle. Oh, having so many Templar out there without a big army escort is going to cost Snitzel a lot of gas. And he's only on 2 gas. Consider that, because this is a mineral only. So those Templar can be quite precious. A bit of a mistake allowing so many of them to die there. But he is continuing to extend his lead. He now has a very nice supply lead, although even bases now. With Lockdog's base going to be a bit more secure, as Snitzel has to keep most of his army right around here to defend this base, especially when they can come down from the low ground. Just as I say that, though, he's diverting a pretty big bit of his army off. It leaves this base a bit vulnerable. Lockdog may be able to capitalize on that, but Snitzel is dividing the difference. This base could certainly go down, and Snitzel has a very strong army threatening to attack. Snitzel has gotten +3 now. Lockdog's still on +2. So, it looks like, in fact, that this base will go down. Some micro mistakes means that he's going to lose a bit, but as that happens, as I said, this base was going to be exposed because that army's on the other side of the map. Snitzel forced to abandon the attack and rush everybody back to try to defend. And it looks like he will, in fact, get everybody back in time. And now Lockdog's going to be in trouble as these bases are just so close together. Immediately, this one is vulnerable, and the Reaver goes down as there's no shuttle for it. A good number of Templar, but they're caught all on their own. Getting some Storms down. There's another Reaver in back, but again, no gateway unit. Snitzel's going to be able to push in here. He's going to be able to take out this mineral only. Not quite as good as the other base, but still a very big blow to Lockdog at this stage in the game, and he's going to be able to continue to press. Lockdog is on the ropes at this point. And this is such a huge army from Snitzel. Oh, very few Templars, the only thing I'm worried about, but at the same time, Lockdog just has so few units that it's just not going to matter. Snitzel with a 60 supply lead and gaining as he crushes through these units at the front. Still no shuttle to help out the Reavers means they're going to fall very quickly to Zealots. And, oh, getting some probes on the transfer. It looks like this natural is going to go down. I don't know how Lockdog is going to be able to get out enough units to defend at this point. This is this mining base, so his economy is essentially intact. But he's just going to lose everything here. I think that this is going to be game for Snitzel. I don't see how Lockdog can recover at this point. Snitzel has all the map control, can attack whatever he wants. He's actually not going to bother to attack up the ramp, but instead go for Lockdog's economy. There are 6 cannons here, but 6 cannons are not going to stand up to that number of speed lots, especially with Dragoons backing them. And Lockdog, I don't know what Lockdog can do at this point. Less than half supply. A bunch of Zealots going in. I don't think that's going to be quite enough Zealots, though. Cannons do a lot of damage to them. Actually, it's going to be close. There were a couple more Zealots than I initially thought. I thought it was only 6, but it looks like it was 8. And yeah, they will be able to take out the cannons. So that base will go down with just the minimal amount of units. The rest of them all funneling back. A bunch of probes being killed on the transfer, but they are going to find that the other base is under attack as well. And GG from Lockdog. Snitzel ties it up 1-1. All right. A good game between Lockdog and Snitzel. Oops, wrong button. Oh, we're going into game 3. So, GT versus SAS, game number 3. We are going to have SAS Ace versus GT True Touch. Alright. So, well, we'll probably do Aces first. On the right side, we have SAS Ace. And he is the Orange Zerg. I do believe I got that right. Yeah, I did get that right. Cool. And on the left side, we have GT's True Touch, another Polish player with terrible spelling. I should probably make No. Whoops. This needs to be white. There we go. Make that text black. Make that text black. There we go. Alright, so ZVZ on Aztec. And both players getting the initial overlord? Both players going to get the initial overlord. Now, these are two players known for their control, but they're controlled in a little bit different ways. True Touch, 2v2 player, so very good at those early game engagements with low-level units, Zerglings, and also Mutalisks, making him quite dangerous at ZVZ. And Ace, well, he had to get the nickname Sniper Zerg from somewhere. He has very good control in that regard. So a little bit different way of getting that, but makes for a very nice ZVZ matchup. And it's just going to be who can force their opponent to make more mistakes. True Touch getting the 12 pool, 11 gas, and Ace getting a 12 pool as well, with an 11 gas, but just significantly later. Actually, the pool is about the same timing. It's just the gas. For whatever reason, it's just going to have an extra, essentially just an extra 8 gas because of that. Should not be a huge issue, but Ace a little bit late on that extractor. Anyway, both players are going to be able to expand, hoping that as long as their opponent didn't do something really aggressive, that expansion should stand. A 9 pool is typically not enough to take that down with proper micro. But actually, True Touch is going to be able to scout out his opponent first, so he has a little bit of an advantage here. He knows his opponent did not go for a 9 pool, so he might not make the... as I say that, he makes a full complement of 6 lings. Theoretically, he could have not made 6 lings because he knew his opponent would not be out that fast. And could have tried something else. Could have gone for something a little bit more economically minded. But Ace forced to make 6 lings anyway. And when your opponent builds 6 slings, you're typically forced to build 6 slings anyway. So, Anyway, Ace realizes where his opponent is, as this is a 3-player map, so when this Overlord saw nothing, realized he needs to go over to the left side. And both players' lairs are on the way. True Touch's lair, once again, with a bit of an advantage. It shouldn't make a huge difference when it comes to engagement, but in ZVZ, those small things can tend to have a snowball. The faster extractor means that your lair is going to be a little bit faster, which means your Mutalisk, your Spire's a little bit faster, and your Mutalisks are a little bit faster. And if True Touch is constantly getting these things done before his opponent, it just perpetuates on itself. So, something to watch out for. Alright. Come on. Lair is done. And as soon as this player has enough money, they will be throwing down the Spire. But Ace, actually with a huge number of lings here, he was hiding a couple down here, hoping that the Overlord would not see. True Touch has a good number of lings of his own, but is it going to be enough? He's going to have the nice arc on the ramp, as long as he doesn't go too far down. So properly microed here, I don't think he's going to have a problem. But oh, he comes too far down the ramp, giving Ace an advantage. It's going to cost him a couple extra lings than it should have. And Ace can go up and around if he wants to. It looks like that's the direction he's going. True Touch doesn't have an Overlord in position to see. And oh, this is going to be a very nice flake from Ace, because True Touch doesn't realize that that's where the lings are coming from. They could go for a run by, they could go for a surround. Reinforcements from True Touch means that he doesn't anymore Ace doesn't have the advantage anymore, but still, not all of the lings are engaged in the battle for either player, distracting, and Ace is going to be able to sneak some of the lings in. Oh, 7 speedlings in the base. This could be game over if True Touch does not micro against this correctly. Losing already drones going down. 3 drones, I believe. 4 drones. All the lings are cleaned up. Oh, not all the lings are cleaned up. There are still more lings. They're going to be harassing the natural. The faster Spire is not going to matter if he does not have drones to be able to pump Mutalisks out at a constant rate. It did cost Ace a lot of lings, so True Touch has a chance to counterattack, but Ace should be able to get up enough lings that it won't matter. And as long as Ace can hold off the counterattack, he's going to be in an absolutely fantastic position. How much later is his Spire? Oh, wow. See, man, that thing just snowballs. Trutresh's Spire is finished. So Trutresh will be able to... Oh, he has no money. He has no money. A couple more Lings coming in for Ace. They're going to see the Spire timing if he didn't already know. Don't know how he wants to plan for that. Meanwhile, here comes the counterattack from True Touch finally coming in, but Ace with a very, very nice arc. And True Touch... Oh, True Touch has no options at this point. He has the one advantage in his Spire, but yet no money for Mutalisks. Got out a couple of Scourge, but the Scourge aren't going to be able to do anything because the Spire's not even finished yet. They can hit an Overlord and supply block Ace temporarily. And that's actually what they're going to do. Ace supply blocked. Oh, but Ace is just going to be able to flood in with Lings and eventually overwhelm True Touch. Or go Mutalisks, either one. Couple more Lings sneaking in. More Lings sneaking in fact. And not even with sneaking in some Lings, he's still going to win the engagement. So now he can have some focus on the hatchery, some attacking drones, or just send all of them drones. It really doesn't matter at this point. Ace, man. Just going around. So many good things happen when you go around on this map. So many bad things happen when you don't go around. Oh, True Touch has 3 supply, 2 supply, 1 supply. There we go, GG. Where was his other supply? I don't even know where the other unit was. Doesn't matter. Ace wins, takes the series 2-1 in Sass's favor. Alright. So, game number 4 of GT versus Sass. Winner gets $900. Winner of the best of 3 series. Not necessarily of this, but $900. So, in the top left, we have GT's South Park. Is it just capital S? No, capital S and P. South Park. He will be the brown Protoss. And in the bottom right, we have Sass Skylime. Alright. He is the white. There we go. White Terran. So, on one hand, you have Skylime, where Skylime is probably one of Sass's weakest starting players. That's not a slight on Skylime, it's just look at Sass's roster. They have so many good people that on any other roster, Skylime would be one of the best, but on Sass's roster, he's eh. But at the same time, we have South Park, whose by far weakest matchup is versus Terran, which is a good start. And one step beyond that, Skylime had a very strong showing at the end of Gambit Cup, taking out both Bakuryu and Pike, I want to say. It was 2 of LRM Zergs, so he has experience winning against Zergs in big game situations. Anyway, South Park. South Park's not going into 9 pool. South Park 9 pool is in nearly every game. And versus Terran, it tends to make Terrans look quite silly when it works. Especially on reverse ramp maps. Because they just kill the Terran, and the Terran just kind of looks his base and cries a little. But South Park gonna go for 12 hatch. As much as I do like South Park's early aggression, it's much better to mix it up, just so that your opponent doesn't necessarily know you're going for a 9 pool every time. You want them to sometimes be preparing against a 12 hatch, but most of the time, just force them, just mix in the 12 hatch so that when they do prepare against the 9 pool, you're going to have an even better economic advantage. Skylime will scout it out though, and it looks like he's getting an SEV in position to build a command center. So, 12 hatch versus 1 Rax FE. pretty similar builds. Well, economically speaking, anyway. Little interesting. South Park's building his third hatchery up here, which really doesn't mean anything, because the difference between here and here in this matchup is minimal. The only reason he threw it up here was because there was an SCV in his base, and if Skyline made the mistake of not coming up and checking the natural, he could have had his SCV patrolling around there forever. It would have went, oh shit, he's going to hatch, I gotta prepare everything to defend it, and make a huge mistake in that regard. But Skyline did come up, so he will see, oh, it's normal. It's just the hatchery's a little bit off-placed. And South Park, it's a risk-reward analysis kind of thing. There's a pretty big upside if South Park makes the mistake, or excuse me, if Skyline makes the mistake. If Skyline doesn't make the mistake, then you're really not risking anything. I mean, when Terran's sieging you down, they might be able to get an extra hatchery, but at that point in the game you kind of already lost anyway if Terran's taken out your natural, so it's a pretty limited risk. Anyway, Skyline getting his very fast +1. We'll be throwing down a lot of Raxes relatively soon. Going for that strong +1 timing attack a bit later in the game. Why is everybody talking about StarCraft 2? I don't know why everybody's talking about StarCraft 2. Anyway, the other thing you have to fear about South Park is that South Park has a tendency of going for economic builds like this, and then all of a sudden attacking with 2 control groups of speed links. It just comes out of absolute nowhere and... Oh. Made a mistake. Building the evolution chamber and then canceling it, building the spire. Oops. And South Park has a pretty large number of speedlings, not speedlings yet, speedling just about to finish, but a pretty good number of zerglings out on the field. Skyline needs to be a little bit careful if he pokes his head out with these Marines. If he gets those surrounded, it can be very hard to defend against the initial Mutalisks. And South Park is very good at getting snipes slash surrounds slash run-bys slash anything that Zerglings can do. Well, let's see how good Skyline's micro is. The Zerglings are coming in. How long does it take to react? Oh, he does not react at all. He does not react at all. All the Marines are going down. I think there was only a single Zergling lost. And all of a sudden, South Park looking in a pretty good position. He catches 2 Raxes building. Going to be taking out the last Marine. There are a couple medics left, but the medics can't even heal each other. They're too far away. And now these Zerglings can divide and conquer, making it just too hard to micro against them. There are so many different places Skyline has to concentrate on. He's going to lose the supply depot. Firebats are coming out. That's the only hope he has, but the Firebats cannot link up with the medics, so the Firebats are on their own. And GG from Skyline. South Park yet making another person look really, really silly. Because that's what he does, man. That's what he does. He just makes you look terrible. There's never a time where it's like, oh man, I lost to South Park, but I put up a really good game. It's, no, I lost to South Park and I might as well have had my head in the sand. Like the entire time. I might as well have just not been playing, and it would have looked about as good. So, tying it up 2-2, keeping it close as we go into the final 2 or 3 games. Going on to game number 5. So, game number 5, we have SAS Cashew versus GT Semi. We have SAS Cashew, and he will be the orange Zerg. Oh, he's not orange, he's brown. I'm ever so slightly colorblind. And in the top right position, we have Semi. I can't remember. Okay, I actually can't remember whether it's HI or IH. IH. All right. Neither of them looked correct. But he's orange. So, ZVP on match point. Now, Cashew. Cashew's been really interesting lately. Because he has been dusting off some really funky builds as of late. Where it's just like, what are you doing? And a couple of times, they've looked awesome. And he just crushed his opponent, and I was so happy. Because it was just an amazing game to watch. In some games, it looked like he was rolling a dice as to what building he would make next. And I just had no fucking clue what was going on. Either way, I hope he does do something out of the ordinary. Because that's what I want to see out of Cashew. I don't want to see Cashew play a normal game. Against Semi is going to be really difficult for him. Whether it fails horribly or works out, I hope it's something special. Alright. Anyway, both players do get the scout off. Ooh. Ooh. Semi building the assimilator. Semi building the assimilator to block the drone out from building an extractor, but he's just gonna do it anyway. Oh, it did not work. And now the drone has full health again, but immediately takes 2 hits. So he's once again at a loss. And he doesn't block it. He's gonna try to. He mined out the minerals. He mined out the minerals. That's kind of cool. Huh. Now it's gonna be significantly harder for Semi to make walls. Is Cashew just going to abuse that? Cashew's like really late with his expansion. Like really late with his expansion. Oh, that's why. That's why he's late with his expansion. The in-base hatch. Well, this isn't exactly what I meant when I said I hope Cashew does something special. But this sure is special. I love mining out the minerals to make the wall worse and then going for the in-base hatch. Just like, it doesn't matter at all how bad that wall is. It just doesn't matter. And Semi's pulled so many probes to try to block it. Oh, that was a really cool move by Cashew. That was a really cool move by Cashew. Is Hatchery still making? Is Hatchery still making? Why is he not getting speed? I don't know why he's not getting speed. Speed would be really nice to help this out. And is Cashew gonna go for it? It looks like Cashew's gonna go for it with a huge number of lings. He only needs to take out a couple probes here to break through, and yeah, that wall was just so open. Oh, still not that many left over. The lings need to be careful to not go too close. Oh, they already discovered it. Never mind. I was gonna say they shouldn't go too close to the hatchery so the probes accidentally discover it, but Semi was already on the way, and oh, he cancels it. Oh, he canceled it. See, that's what I mean, man. If that had worked out, that would have been the absolute coolest thing. If Semi had just like been mining away and then all of a sudden like notice creep on the outside of his peripheral and then go aww and then die to like a sunken rush even. I don't even know. There's so many options there. But now Cashew just looks silly because he canceled the in-base hatchery when it was like about to finish. Cashew is gonna be able to take it out of the simulator though. It's gonna actually delay gas quite a while. If Semi, depending on how much Semi can get out, there is a Zillet on the way. Oh, well, that's gonna make it so they couldn't have finished. All right, and Cashew building some hatcheries over here instead. That's four hatches, 4 hatch before lair. All right. I don't know what he's doing anymore again. He's still hiding the drone in here! Aw, the probe found it. Aww. That makes me sad. Ah, now we'll never get to see the 11-minute proxy hatch. Just out of fucking nowhere, man. He's gonna like sunken rush the Templar archives. Don't you want to see sunken rushing at Templar archives? Your life just is not complete until you see sunken rushing at Templar archives. I'm not sure where that drone's going. Is he gonna go for a hidden expansion? Is that what Cash is doing? Hydralisk Den on the way. Yeah, hidden expansion. Why not? Why not? Hidden expansion all up in this. That's cool. I didn't know what he's planning on doing with that hidden expansion. Like, no clue what he's gonna do with that hidden expansion. I guess it's just to rally in Hydralisk faster for his 5-hatch Hydralisk bust. Okay. Okay. Sure. Sure. +1 getting pretty close for Semi, but it does not look like he'll have, excuse me, he won't have his Citadel down, just because of how delayed the core was. So speed isn't quite for a while. And, okay, Semi's gonna scout out with this with a probe. Already something's weird, that Cashew already has 2 completed hatcheries here. Semi should know something's weird, and there's a Hydralisk. He doesn't know about this base yet. And he should assume that there's no Spire, because Cashew couldn't have possibly gotten Hydralisk out by now and a Spire. Ooh, a very goon-heavy attack coming up from Semi. Interesting, 5 early goons. And there is a single Sunken Colony down to defend, along with a Hydralisk. He has some more units back here. He's going to need to get those up into the fight. Sunken Colonies, for whatever reason, miss when attacking high ground. It makes absolutely no sense, but it just works that way. So the Sunken Colony is actually going to miss some of the time here. Yeah, like that. And that's going to hurt it a lot. And the Hydralisk backing off momentarily. Here comes a couple units for Cashew, but that's not going to be anywhere near enough. But here comes a whole batch of Hydralisk popping out, and those will certainly help out. This might, in fact, be enough. If he only loses a Sunken Colony, it's not that bad. He just needs to make sure he doesn't lose a hatchery, doesn't lose drones. As another Sunken Colony is morphing in, lots more units are coming in, and the Zerglings are really what's going to be very detrimental to these goons. The goons just take too long to kill off such low-cost units. Oh, there's even a lurker, a lone lurker in the mix. The Sunken Colony goes down once again, and yeah, these Zerglings might have been able to take out the goons eventually anyway, as he just continues to rally him in. The goons micro a little bit, but are going to go down. And it looks like they don't get a single drone, just taking out a bunch of Lings and a couple Sunken Colonies. More and more Lings coming out. Speed is now done, which makes microing against those Lings significantly harder. He might have also escaped an Overlord. Not sure if he picked off the Overlord. Anyway, this base is mining technically, but really it's just going to be used to produce more units. Cash needs to be careful not to rally in the Zerglings and let Semi know that there's a hidden base here. It looks like Semi's gonna go find it. Cashew! Cashew accidentally revealing that he has a base up here. Someone didn't think. So, this base is gonna die, unfortunately. One Hydralisk got 2 shots off. Doesn't let me kill Goon. That's nice. Lots of Speedlings are streaming in from the back, but they can't kill this. Wow, they won't even get there in time to save it. Yeah, Dragoons are a little bit too good at killing buildings. So, still no Stargate for Semi, interestingly. Just going to continue on the ground. It's a little bit late for, it was a little bit late for Stargate anyway. And considering that your opponent, you don't really need the Stargate. And too many Hydralisks out to do a lot of damage anyway. Speed's on the way. But yeah, Cashew's got problems. Semi has double the supply. Really close to double the supply, not quite, but really close. And is taking a third base now, where Cashew only has 3 bases. Kinda feel reminiscent of Draw versus Michael from game 1. Even bases with the Protoss having double supply. It's really not much different than that. Both players have less tech, I guess, than they did before. Semi now getting up to Templar Archives, but still no Stargate. Cashew with no Spire. Looks like these Lings are going to... Nope. They could have sniped a Dragoon or 2, but no, just gonna back off anyway. That's fine. There are a bunch of Lurkers out. And I haven't seen the Observer with the army. Oh, there's an Observer with the army. I was gonna say we already saw the Observatory down, but just not any Observers out. But Observers are out, making it's still not going to be terribly easy to get through the Lurkers, just because Dragoon Zealot combo, especially slow lots, aren't that good until you get the High Templars. You really need some High Templars to really soften up the large Lurker fields. But Storm's getting pretty close to done. It's on the way. Yeah, Cashew. I don't know what you were planning on doing, Cashew, but something did not work this game. And it's like, I know what didn't work. Like, his proxy hatch got scouted. That one's pretty clear. But his follow-up is what I'm confused about. Exactly what he was planning with the 4-hatch Lurker Speedling thing with a hidden base. Semi with a huge army. There is a Templar in the mix, with another one coming up slightly behind that, but this is going to be very hard for Cashew to try to defend against. Oh, jeez. Oh, the Lurkers are clumped. Lurkers are clumped, but Semi's not... He's kind of heading in this direction. He's accidentally heading in this direction. Going to cost him a few units. While the rest of his army takes out this base. He's hiding the drone up in the corner. You can't see it. It's covered by the overlay. And... yeah, it's going to go down. So Cashew once again stopped. These are Lings, not a drone, so he's not trying to take that hidden expansion. There was a Zergling came down here and killed off the pylon. But again, not expanding there either. And with this base up for Semi's now ahead on bases. And ahead by 60 supply. I guess Semi doesn't feel comfortable engaging that many Lurkers with that few of Storms. It's only 3 High Templar. He'd probably do it, but it wouldn't be a terribly cost-effective engagement for him. Looks like Catch is going for drop. It's his Queen's Nest on the way, so he'll get Hive as well. Go for some Crackling Defiler drops, possibly. Anyway, a little bit of a Hydralisk attack here. Can punish this base, being just a little bit under cannoned. There were a good number of cannons, but the cannons can only delay him for so long. The rest of the army's on the other side of the map. So, we're going to do some good damage here. As the army slowly but surely makes their way down. That conga line of units trailing the High Templar. And Semi's actually taking a 5th base. Oh, 5 base Protoss versus 3 base Zerg is not good. Like, not even a little. It's just bad. Well, it will be stopped at least, so that's good. Keeping it to only 1 base behind. And so many hatcheries. Six hatcheries off of 3 bases. Of which one is a mineral only with only 6 patches. He's... okay, there we go. I was like, he's not getting a hive? Really? Drop is finished. And speed is finished. So, whenever he wants to go for those drops... And he has supply blocked his opponent. No, so Semi was supply blocked. Now not anymore. And, oh jeez. Like 70 supply ahead? 70 supply. There's no way this base is going to be defended. Is there an observer? Okay, yeah, there are observers. 3 observers, in fact. So even if the lurkers do finish, and it's going to be painful getting up the ramp, but Semi can do it. No, I guess he doesn't want to. Yeah, those lurkers were going to do a lot of damage to the zealots. Might be waiting for the Templar to soften up with Storm. There's a lot of Storm here as he hasn't been using them. That's 4 full energy Templar. One of them technically isn't full energy, but getting pretty close. Semi's getting cannons on the ridge. I don't know how he could have possibly scouted drop. Cashew hasn't been putting anything in Overlord, so sometimes if he could hear it, he just must. That's a really nice preemptive thing. Like, he's just assuming that the only way Cashew can get back into this game is drops. Or maybe he just knows Cashew likes drops, particularly at this point in the game. I don't know. Ultralisk Cavern on the way. 2 gas Ultralisk can be kind of difficult to pull off. And by can be kind of difficult, I mean you only get out like 3 Ultralisks. Still trying to get in more lurkers here, but most of the Protoss forces have already gotten up the ramp. So the lurkers are still going to do good amounts of damage, but the Protoss will eventually just be able to kill everything. And the space will go down once again. Yep, there are the final lurkers. Even storming the larva. Oh, here's the drop. Here's the drop. Why'd you drop? You totally could have just attacked with the cracklings. There was like no reason to drop there. Whatever, worked out for you. You killed the base. I think like by tanking some shots with Overlords, you probably saved a handful of cracklings. Okay. Nope, not gonna lose any Overlords. Okay, lose 1 Overlord. I guess drop did technically make that attack better. Still don't know why you got it. Okay. Yeah. Semi's still double supply. Cashew's not getting any closer to coming back at this point. He's just managing to not die as Semi is trying to reestablish a 5th base. Going to be shut down again. Though. Yeah, the Nyx can fall really fast. There's some units trying to come back to defend it, but it's going to actually die before they can get there. Oh, cracklings are really good. Another attack of cracklings comes in, trying to stop this base once again. Doing a little bit of damage. I was right. When you go Ultralisk off of 2 gas, that's like 3 Ultralisks. I totally called that. And you don't even get the armor upgrade. Alright. There's a lot of cracklings. And a few Ultralisk to tank shots for him. Good luck controlling that. It's like, if Semi, like, horribly messes up and Cashew channels his inner Jadong to attack with all the cracklings at the same time, like, theoretically, you could win an engagement, but... Yeah, that didn't work out too well. You need a little bit more than 3 Ultralisks. And not be at half supply. Those 2 things really hurt Cashew there. And Cashew GG's. Semi is going to give GT their first lead, and they only need 1 more game to finish off the series. Finish off the series of series. Alright. So, Game 6. Will it be the final game? Will it be the very the very, very last cast of Twitch TV Gambit Cup? I don't know. I don't know. Wait, there's static issues? Are the static issues gone? I hope they are. So, we have Sass Zeke. Sass Zeke? Does Zeke have a capital letter? Indeed he does. Capital S. We have Sass Zeke, who needs to turn this around for Sass right here, versus GT's Eric. GT's EEIC 9. I feel compelled to say this once again. His name is not Eric. It's probably nothing close to Eric, as he is Japanese. He probably has a traditional Japanese name. But I do not know of a better way to pronounce that name. I'm not saying EEIC every time. I'm not going to call him Eek, because that's ridiculous. It's an acronym for something, but acronym's just going to make EEIC longer. Therefore, I'm changing the second E to an R, and his name is Eric. And that's just the way it is. If you would like to give me a different pronunciation, I have given him that opportunity, and heard nothing back. Ooh. What? Why did the drone scout that way? It hugged. It just like, nope. Not gonna scout where Zeke is. I'm gonna scout cross instead. It's like this, getting really close to Zeke's base, he just had a gut feeling. He was like, nope, must scout cross. I think he was looking for the Overlord here, because Zeke should have scouted towards the natural, which would be this one. And then didn't see it, so he was like, oh, Zeke can't be over there. But Zeke didn't scout normally, so that completely backfired on him. And he is going to scout out Zeke last after scouting cross in 2 directions. And it's not even like cross in 2 directions, because this is longer than cross. He went the long way to go cross, and then didn't scout him, and then is going to have to go cross again. And Zeke has Lings out. And Zeke has Lings. Oh, Eric! Eric! Eric went blind Nexus first! Well, Forge then Nexus, but Nexus before cannons to Zeke's fastlings. Oh, Eric. You wanted to get that economic advantage to have a chance versus Zeke, but Zeke's just gonna kill you. Zeke's just going to kill you. Oh, so sad. Zeke's not even making more Zerglings. He's like, nope, I can finish it with 6. I need no more than 6. Anything else would be superfluous. Eric pulling all of his probes but 2, and one of which is not mining, to try to handle the Lings. He manages to get down another cannon, but the Forge will, in fact, fall, making it even harder for the probes. The probes are trying to defend it. It's losing health. Zeke's microing pretty well. Oh, under 50 health. Under 50 health as all the probes are off the line. It's not as if Zeke 4-pooled. You actually need more people mining than 4. He still does not have one of those probes mining. As he loses all of these, this cannon, it still won't finish. Oh, this cannon's still not going to oh, it actually will finish. Okay, but run by. Eric has 7 supply. He has 8 supply, 2 of which are building probes. Oh, man. Zeke, he can beat you. He can beat you in one of 10,000 ways. Today, it was abusing the fact that you went for a late cannon. GG. Eric has left the game. Zeke has tied it up, and we are going to go to ace match. We are going to go to ace match. Let me put the ace match in the folder. So, ace match, day 2, Twitch TV Gambit Cup. $900. That's what it all comes down to. Can SAS continue the series? Can GT close it out? Did I not put that in the right folder? I did put it in the right folder, I just didn't put it in the Seb folder. I have to assume it's going to be Zeke for SAS. Who is GT going to send Snitzel? Zeke versus Snitzel? Sounds pretty good. I don't know. I don't know. We have Zeke versus Semi. Interesting. Okay. Okay. So in the top left position, we have Zeke. He is the off-white Zerg this game. And in the right position, GT's Semi. Capital S. Gotta give him that capital S. Huh. Semi's good. Is he the best player to play against Zeke, though? Like, Zeke's really good versus Protoss. Like, really, really gut-wrenchingly makes me want to vomit good versus Protoss. We saw it last game, man. He looked pretty good versus the Protoss player. I don't know. I think if I was GT, I would have sent South Park or True Touch. Just try to ZVZ Zeke out. And Zeke's really good at ZVZ too, just not quite as good. Oh. We'll see. Zeke with the overpool. Semi will scout him first instead of scouting cross, then cross, then close, then across. So he should throw down a forge and a cannon. That would be the correct thing to do in this situation. I would hope. This would be horribly anticlimactic if Semi, in fact, did not get a cannon after the forge finished, instead built a Nexus. That would be quite the hilarious way to end the day. There's something on the bottom of my mouse. It is making it uneven. Anyway, Zeke's... That's the second player who's doing the extractor trick against Semi, but doing it, making it so that he get a little bit more help with the probe, and going to be able to throw down that hatchery as the first lings come out. But Zeke going overpool with only 2 lings. Interesting. And Semi went Nexus first. Semi had gone Nexus first, but Zeke only built 2 lings. If Zeke had built 6 lings, he would have won! Like, look, those 2 lings, they're gonna get there before that cannon finished. He would have won the game. He should have won the game. Zeke getting so fancy. Oh, why are you trying to be that fancy, Zeke? Oh man. Alright. Semi should be like thanking his lucky stars at this point that he did not lose the game right there. Who the hell goes Nexus first versus a scouted overpool? I don't know. Don't know why he did that, but it worked out for him. It worked out for him. He now has 2 Zeke lings in his base. Not the best position to be in, but at the same time he didn't die. Yet. Oh man. These don't have any kills yet, right? No, they did force the cancel on the assimilator. It means that it's going to be delayed, wasting a little bit more money. It's only 12 minerals though. It's not a huge issue. Still just trying to force the Protoss into making a mistake here. Oh, there's one. Got the probe. And Zeke is continuing to do normal stuff behind it as he gets the layers almost finished. His 3rd hatchery's almost finished. Zealot finally out, though. So, going to make it significantly harder for these lings to pick off any more probes. But he catches one that went all the way around. Nope. Nope. Takes out 30 health. Takes out 30 health, and don't know why that Zelda didn't attack. I guess it was right click to the back one instead of the front one, so did not do any damage. The one Zergling that had been hit has recovered all of its health, so they are now 2 full health Zerglings. He's continuing to get a scout off, so he sees the Stargate. Semi will not be doing the kind of build he did last game, where he was completely anti-Stargate, instead getting normal timings. Oh, man, getting another probe despite the fact that there are 2 Zealots there, and he has not lost a Ling yet. Speed now finishing. So these Lings are even more deadly than they were before. And for some reason, Semi's probes keep going around back, which makes gives the Lings nice opportunities to get some kills. Retreating once again, without taking any hits, as they dart in and out. Spire on the way? Yes, Spire is on the way. And, Ziki got supply blocked. Must have been the first Corsair. Was it the first Corsair? We heard firing. Oh no! It was the front over. Oh, okay, it wasn't the front overlord. It was the Dragoon. The Dragoon stepped forward and picked out the front overlord. Okay, so Semi doing the Alfio thing, getting that fast goon, pick off an overlord. That's cool. He did force Semi to build a cannon in his mineral line. So these 2 Zerglings already gotten 2 probe kills and forcing a cannon to be built. The cannon was going to go down anyway, but it would have been much later. Certainly serving their worth. And trying to threaten this wall, as there was only 1 Zealot there to block, but more Zealots coming up as they no longer need to try to defend against the Lings. The Lings finally taken out. But Ziki's just chugging along. Ziki doesn't need to do anything spectacularly fancy. He just plays a textbook game and wins by virtue of being awesome. And that looks like it was on purpose. Trapping a probe in there is if you did trap it in there on purpose, it was to help him micro Corsairs against Scourge. Should be a little bit interesting. Do I have hotkeys? Oh, I do have hotkeys. Yeah, look at that. There's a control group, 2 Corsairs and a probe. So he did in fact do that on purpose. Cute move. I don't know why every time I click on it, it drags me down. Because I don't know why every time I click on it, it drags me down. That's weird. But not important. Alright. Alright. Still haven't seen much out of the way of Ziki yet. He did build those early Lings. And he threatened the front, but didn't quite move in. Now Scourge going in, trying to get a hit. Dragoon getting a shot off. Managed to kill one of the Scourge, but the rest of the Corsairs will be able to get home. Yeah, Semi getting pretty aggressive with that first push. Does he have Zealot speed yet? I didn't quite notice it. Well, if he didn't have it before, it's done now. So it's a pretty scary force, although +1 is significantly behind it. So if he wants to wait for +1, it's going to take him quite a while, letting Semi get up a very nice defense. Although there are a lot of Zealots, so... no, but Semi's going to expand. It's taking a very fast third base against Ziki. I mean, you kind of need to. If you let Ziki do what he's going to do long enough, he's just going to strangle you out of the game. You won't be able to break out of your front, but at the same time, Ziki's is going to be very hard to defend against multi-pronged attacks on this location. There are 3 very distinct attack. Well, there aren't 3 distinct. It looks like 3 distinct attack paths, but it's actually just one big open hemisphere. Or semicircle. I guess it's not a sphere. You know what? Hemisphere, because he could attack from air. He could go Mutalisks. But the point is that, these 2 sides are both downhill, making attacks on there even stronger. But Looks like he's going to be able to engage some of these Hydralisks. Without speed, this is not going to be a good engagement for Zeke. He needs to back off here, and ooh, he's going to allow some of these to be caught. A bit of a mistake from Zeke there, but more reinforcements coming in from the back. Good storms going down, but good dodges from Zeke. And now these Hydralisks, oh, what is he doing with those Hydralisks? I'm not sure. Doesn't seem to have a direction with them, and he could have lost a lot more there, but he's not going to lose a whole lot from that attack. He's actually just going in for an attack immediately with Semi on hot pursuit. No, he's going to back off now. I really do not know what he's trying to do with these Hydralisks. Speed finally finishing, though, so he should be able to get away for the most part. Oh. Semi getting some Overlord kills here. He's getting very aggressive with these Corsairs. He's going to lose all of his Corsairs just to kill a couple Overlords. Typically not the best of ideas, especially considering that you have a probe stuck back here. It seemed like he wanted to continue doing that for a while. But no, there's only one Corsair left, not continuing Corsair protection. Even got +1 from. That's a bit of a mistake, especially considering he wasn't even like softening it up for DTs. That wasn't his strategy this game. As he's going to play it more defensive, try to get the fast third. I really did not know what the idea behind that was, but here comes Zeke. Huge Hydralisk force, and he is going to attack down that hill. Good storm going off, but still a very good dodge from Zeke. Zeke is dodging that preemptively. I think those Hydralisks moved before the actual storm went down. Another good dodge, only taking minimal damage. Oh, not dodging that time. Semi just casting great storms here. It's going to be hard to dodge all of them, but at the same time, he's out. So Zeke can just continue to move in. More, looks like some lurkers are being morphed in, and this base is going to go down. And this is what I was saying. This base is going to be so hard to defend against any competent Zerg player, but especially Zeke. And, no! High ground advantage means that enough of those Hydralisks miss. Oh, wow. Just barely not going to lose that. But lots of lurkers morphing in. They're going to step forward and force the Zealots back. He should bury them a little bit further back, I think. No, he's just going to force the Zealots to retreat anyway. I think that the Zealots might be able to see this one, because the vision range on the cannons is just a little bit bigger than their attack range. But no, he's going to bury some of his lurkers here to make a semi-contain. Haha, a semi-contain. Dudunch. But he's going to leave some lurkers here for a little bit of a contain and leave the other ones back here to finally finish off that Nexus. Definitely does need to finish that off. And not just allow it to live and then Semi eventually breaks out and all of a sudden he still has that Nexus there just because you never got around to breaking it. But these lurkers doing good damage. These lurkers, no, they're not quite hitting that cannon. And ooh, that was a mistake from Zeke. I thought he was going to split them out eventually, but no, he doesn't. Going to lose 3 of them immediately, allowing these Zealots to get out. And he did, though, kill the Nexus, which is nice. Still an overall good attack. Although losing those lurkers are a bit unfortunate. But Zeke's going to continue on. He has expanded to take a 4th base at this point. He has nice upgrades. No, he doesn't have that nice of upgrades. Just +1 with +2 very close. Zeke has Semi has +2 of his own. With Reaver tech, interesting. Is he making any Reavers? No, he's not making any Reavers. He's not getting shuttle speed, right? No. Yet to see what that robo facility could be. It seems a little bit too soon for shuttle speed. But at the same time, Reavers would be kind of a weird decision at this point. Oh, it is going to be for Reavers. Okay, interesting. And did Semi... Okay, I think that was just a scouting probe. I really hope he wasn't expecting to expand there again. But the clock is ticking for Semi here. As you look at his mineral patches, they are getting quite depleted. Just 1/3 left at his main, and his natural is a bit more saturated, so it's even less than that. If he doesn't take an expansion by the time that those bases go down, he could be in a lot of trouble. It looks like he's going to take an expansion here. There's a Zergling. It looks like it's just a little bit out of vision range, though. So it's going to be a little while before the Zergling realizes the cannons are there, the cannons realize the Zergling's there. About even supply, 121 to 120. So an okay position for either player. Yeah, really not hugely indicative. Hive on the way, though. Hive halfway done for Zeke. Zeke's going to get those Hive tech units, going to be even more deadly than he is now. Ugh. No, this is a very scary Protoss force though, especially with that many storms and how good semi-storms have been this game. It looks like 6 Templar. It could do a lot of damage, and Zeke immediately moving in after those units get out of the way. Oh, a very nice storm. Zeke not taking so much, excuse me, not losing a lot, but taking so much damage on them. And I'm not sure what Zeke was planning with that attack, but it's going to go away very quickly. And Semi forces it out. Alright. So, Defiler Mount has started. Crack, I assume. Yes, Crack has also started. That Defiler Crackling combination going to be so strong. As this base is getting almost warped in, probes are transferring over. This Overlord has to see the probes coming in. So, and the Zerglings take it out anyway. So Zeke knows that expansion's gone down. It's not a huge issue if he doesn't want to take it out. A 5 base versus 3 base, certainly not at a disadvantage for him if he just wants to continue along like that. A little bit surprised by the lack. Okay, we're getting the upgrades. They seem like they're a little bit on the slow side, as he's only it's only 2-1 right now, and no melee upgrades. Soon be 1-2 on the melee. But Ultra's Cavern, as we saw, going down as well, and Semi's pushing out with a very scary force here. He has Reavers, he has so many Templars, there are so many units here he needs to micro very well, but if he can, this is a nearly invincible army, especially since Defilers aren't out yet to deal with all of these Dragoons. And he's definitely going to need some swarms to help out here, but huge storms going down, very nice Reaver placement. Means that Zeke's going to lose a lot of units as these Dragoons kind of creep forward, and these Reavers are going to be very nice for sieging down the Sim City. He can take it a little bit slowly if he wants to. The swarm won't even be enough to defend it. Lurker's coming in now. Ooh, getting a nice snipe on one of the Reavers before Semi's picking it up, and that's what I meant by it's just going to be hard to micro all of these. You have to pay attention to so many fronts, and oh, Cracklings. Cracklings are good. Cracklings are good, and Semi loses that army. Things were looking really well for him for a while there, but that's kind of the nature of PvZ. Things can look really good for Protoss for quite a while, then all of a sudden, Cracklings. And he's just able to whittle it down eventually. Oh, even Scourging the shuttle. Have you no shame. Nope. Looks like he's gonna be able to snipe the Templar though. He gets a final storm off, killing off a lot of the Lings, and now they're gonna try to focus on the Nexus. Forces cancel. Might have even been a kill on the Nexus. So nice move by him, and that probe's gonna go and immediately rebuild it. GG. GG! Maybe a little bit preemptive, but at the same time, Semi losing his entire army is gonna be hard to re-macro that up. Zeke on 6 bases? Whoa, I have so many viewers. Awesome. Well, that's it. SAS takes it. 4-3, and we've had 2 very close series, 4-2 and then 4-3. Guess we need a game 3. I guess we need a game 3. It'll be Sunday. I don't know what time it'll be, but keep an eye out on the thread, I guess. Wow. Thank you to the sponsors. Twitch TV, the site you're watching now. I've actually been watching more Twitch TV than I have real TV. Not just esports kind of things, but like all the things they have on Twitch TV. They have a lot of good programming. You should check out some of the the speedrunning stuff. It's actually quite entertaining. Thank you to the 2 individual sponsors, Nerbopolis and Prowler. I will be back tomorrow to cast ISL 21 CET, and then back Sunday for the conclusion of SAS versus GT. Somebody's got to close it out. Somebody's got to close it out, man. Who's going to do it? Thank you all for watching. Bye.